Hi guys, so welcome to today's YouTube video. Today we're going to talk all about emotional intelligence, as you can see from the title. This is a really important topic for those especially who react to things just generally, just always react to stuff and find it really hard to pull back their emotions and have some time to think before you react. So if you're quite a reactive person, you feel like there's certain things that you've said out of spite, out of anger, that have caused a lot of problems in your relationships, at your workplace, emotional intelligence is for you, and we're going to go through how emotional intelligence works and certain things that you can do to enhance your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity that you get aware and you can control your emotions in situations and in relationships to really show empathy and sympathy. And it's just all based on how you control your emotions and how you express your emotions. There was a book written by Daniel Goleman all about emotional intelligence, and he redefined the way intelligence is thought. He redefined what it means to be smart. For him, you're smart if you can deal with things with a clear mind, clarity, and you can regulate how you feel, and you don't just react according to your environment. You react into what's within, and you take a step back to really control your emotions and before just expressing it straight away. So he broke down in this book 5 methods or 5 general parts and elements of emotional intelligence. The first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness is all about how you know your strengths and weaknesses. So you know what your strengths are, you know what your weaknesses are, and then that will help you to see how you react to certain situations and people. And that's all about self-awareness. It's the sort of habits and behavior you show to others when you're feeling a certain sort of way. So self-awareness is key. And we all have, I've spoken about this before, but we all have certain things that we go through where when we're sad, we do certain habits that's linked to our sadness. So that's self-awareness. Like, I know when I'm feeling sad, I go for a long walk, I isolate myself, which is a damaging effect to me personally. So I know that happens to me, and that is self-awareness. That is the one step or element of emotional intelligence. The second one is self-regulation. When we are self-aware, we can regulate our emotions. We physically can regulate our emotions. The third element is motivation. People who have high emotional intelligence are constantly motivated and they have sustainable motivation. That means they show optimism and resilience on a daily basis because they're so optimistic and so motivated if they have higher emotional intelligence. And the last one is empathy and social care, and that kind of links together. It's how you're showing empathy to other people and how you respect conversations that you have with other people. So that's kind of the basis of emotional intelligence. It's so different from IQ. It's how you react to stuff, and it's all about how you regulate your own emotions. An article on Forbes found that salespeople who have higher emotional intelligence is so much more successful with those with low emotional intelligence. And the study was conducted, and Forbes suggested that those with higher emotional intelligence, like emotional intelligence is a better factor of success than experience or just IQ is. So that's a big fact that Forbes really believe from this study, that high emotional intelligence equals more success. And it's not a surprise because emotional intelligence means you know how to regulate yourself and show your emotions wisely, so you get a response that you want instead of acting out of anger or acting out of emotions. So now let's talk about how we can improve this. The first step is reflect more. And this simply means reflect on yourself a lot. Start writing a journal, start just reflecting on how you react to certain emotions. Like I said, when I'm sad, I go for a long walk, I put myself in isolation. That is just reflecting. So be more reflective on yourself. Just as much as you criticize others and reflect on other people's actions, reflect on your actions and see what you can do, and that will really improve your self-awareness. Number 2, ask for perspective. Go to your friends, your closest friends, your family, your colleagues that know you really well, and ask them how you react to certain situations. Often we're either too biased with this ourselves or too critical on ourselves, you know. When we are biased on ourselves, we think that we are reacting in a great way when we possibly might not have. Or when we're quite critical on ourselves, we think that we're reacting really badly or really harshly when people think we do take our time back to react. So it's good to ask for perspective, so there's no bias or criticalness in there. So ask people how you react to certain situations, you know. Ask your colleagues, for example, when you're put on a deadline, how do you react? Are you harsh to them? Are you quite nice to them? Do you just block them out because you want to concentrate on your work? Go ask your family how you react when there's a certain family situation going on. Just go and ask people closest to you how you react to stuff, and that will have different perspective and you can reflect more on that. Number 3 is to observe. It's to observe how you're coming across. A lot of times people do not realize that we come across a certain way to people for different things. So it's really, really important to observe how you come across to others. Your reputation really matters, especially at the workplace, especially when you're an entrepreneur, or especially when you're online. If you're so reactive that every single negative thing that happens to your life, you start tweeting about it immediately, or you make a Facebook status about it, or you put something on LinkedIn about it, observe that. Truly just sit back and observe how you react to stuff, because that could really hinder your reputation and hinder what people think about you. So the 3rd step is to observe. Number 4 is choosing to like criticism. Often we think criticism is such a bad thing, and we just get very defensive about criticism. You know, if someone says something about you, for example, I think you could improve your public speaking skill, and you're just like, hold on, I'm great at public speaking, what are you on about? And you just let your emotions take over. Choose to like criticisms, because if we like criticisms, we can grow from criticisms. There's some things, yes, you might not agree with, or there's some things that people say just because they don't like the way you do things and your opinions are different, and that's fine. There can be polarizing opinions, but it's really important to learn from these criticisms and write them down. And again, if you ask from a different perspective, you can see if this is a common trend from every single person that you're getting this criticism. I know when I was quite young, I got defensive with a lot of stuff. You know, I was very protective of my ideas and the things I did, and every time someone said something harsh about it, I got very defensive. I closed them off, and that was not helping me to grow, because I carried on doing something that I thought was right and no one else thought that was right. And I'm not saying in the way of don't do what people don't like. What I'm saying is see why they're saying that. And for me, when people were saying certain stuff to me, I just found it as really mean-hearted, and I just didn't want to listen to it. But that was my own insecurity. So sometimes there's a deeper reason why we take criticism so harshly, is because there's a deeper insecurity. And number 5 on how you can really improve and show emotional intelligence is if you pause. You need to pause. And that means before you speak, before you shout, before you send a reply on text, before you send an email to your boss, you need to pause and just think about it. Have a moment. Just truly have a moment and think about it. And that's a great way in ensuring that you're just not reacting out of your environment, but you're reacting because you have to, or there's something meaning behind that. And like I said, this video is a shout out to all those people who have reacted in the past and have caused them a lot of problems by reacting. I know there's so many people I meet and we talk about emotional intelligence and all they say is, wow, I wish I knew this sooner, because I have spent a lot of time saying stuff to different people and really affecting and having bad relationships and people not liking me anymore, or my boss is having a really bad relationship with me, or my suppliers do not agree with me, I have lost some suppliers, I've lost my virtual assistant. A lot of things goes on because you react so quickly, and this works in your relationships, your workplace, like I said, your suppliers, your colleagues. So really pause and reflect before you reply to something and before you act on something. So I hope this helps you guys. You know, it's all about emotional intelligence, and it's about how we regulate our emotions. It's really key how we regulate our emotions, because that really reflects on you as a person. So I hope that helps. Subscribe to this channel, click the bell down below to get notified every single time we post a new video, and also give this video a thumbs up. And also I'd like to challenge you to comment down below and tell me there's one situation where you've reacted out of your environment and emotions without pausing and thinking about it, and now in hindsight how you've improved and how you've worked on your emotional intelligence. And as always, join us in this conversation in the Empowerment Club Facebook group that we have. And there's so many people just having daily conversations there, and I post daily content there and live streams. So if you want to have a look at that, click on the link down below and join the Empowerment Club Facebook group for more content and information. So that's it for you guys today. Thank you for watching. See you guys later.